Hey everyone, I'm Coral. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here today with some movies I'm going to be watching in October. I do an annual marathon. However, this year I technically started in August because I saw this thing on Twitter and it's called the 100 Horror Movies in 92 Days Challenge. So I've been doing this since August. So my list this time will be a little bit different than normal because usually I like to rewatch some movies and watch some new shit too. I really love rewatching movies. I'm one of those people. I will watch, a movie I like over and over and over and over again. This is a little bit different because I'm watching 100% movies I've not seen before. So it's been an experience. I think I've watched 75 movies at this point, so I've still got some to go. But I'm gonna make this fucking challenge. I'm gonna make it happen, and I'm going to tell you right now the movies that I'm going to be watching. There's not 31 on this list because I left a few spots open for things that are, inevitably will come on to streaming services that I haven't planned out, you know what I mean? So there's some spots for that. So how many movies do I have here? So I have 28 movies here I'm going to tell you about, and I'm very excited for them. You might know, it is already, I don't know, I'm filming this on the 6th, so hopefully I'll have it up and edited by tomorrow. So I have watched some of these, but I'm still going to tell you as if I have not watched them before. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. First up, we have The Vigil, which came out in 2019. This was directed by Keith Thomas. And this says, a man providing overnight watch to a deceased member of his former Orthodox Jewish community finds himself opposite a malevolent entity. Next, one that I was so excited to get to. This is My Best Friend's Exorcism, which came out this year, 2022, and this was directed by Damon Thomas. You might recognize the title of this movie because it's one of my favorite books, My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. The synopsis for this says, the year is 1988. Abby and Gretchen have been best friends since 4th grade. After an evening of skinny dipping goes disastrously wrong, Gretchen begins to act different, which leads Abby to suspect her best friend may be possessed by a demon. Next is another 2022 release. This is Fresh, which was directed by Mimi Cave. Frustrated by scrolling dating apps only to end up on lame, tedious dates, Noah takes a chance by giving her number to the awkwardly charming Steve after a produce section meet cute at the grocery store. Then I'm watching Idle Hands, which came out in 1999. This was directed by Rodman Flender. Anton is a cheerful but exceedingly non-ambitious 17-year-old stoner who lives to stay buzzed, watch TV, and moon over Molly, the beautiful girl who lives next door. However, it turns out that the old cliche about idle hands being the devil's playground has a kernel of truth to it after all. This is one I've never seen before, and honestly I can't, this is just so the movies, the type of movie that me and my best friend when I was growing up loved to watch, so I don't know how this escaped me, but I'm going to watch it. Next is The Black Belly of the Tarantula, which came out in 1971. This was directed by Paolo Cavara. This is an Italian film. It says, Inspector Tellini investigates serial crimes where victims are paralyzed while having their bodies ripped open with a sharp knife. So this is definitely like a giallo style film. Okay, this next one here, I don't really know how to pronounce this. This is Salome, which came out in 2021. This was directed by Jean-Luc, I think that this is a French name, Herboulot? Don't know. I don't know. So it says 3 mercenaries extracting a drug lord out of Guinea-Bissau are forced to hide in a mystical region of Senegal. Oh my gosh, I am not good with pronunciations, but I try. So there's that movie. Okay, guys, this next one, I cannot tell you how excited I am for this. This is Hellraiser 2022, which is directed by David Bruckner. This comes out on the 7th of October. So if I get this up tomorrow, I'm watching this tomorrow. I'm so excited about it. So this says, A young woman struggling with addiction comes into possession of an ancient puzzle box, unaware that its purpose is to summon the Cenobites, a group of sadistic, supernatural beings from another dimension. I'm so fucking excited for this, you guys. Holy shit. Next is American Mary, which came out in 2012. This was directed by Jen and Sylvia Soska. A young medical student struggling to pay tuition is drawn into the shady world of underground body modification. This has Catherine Isabel in it, who I really love. She was in Ginger Snaps, if you've seen that, and she was just so excellent. So I'm excited to watch another movie with her in it. Then we have Poltergeist 2, The Other Side. I've never seen this. This came out in 1986, and this is directed by Brian Gibson. The Freeling family move in with Diane's mother in an effort to escape the trauma and aftermath of Carol Ann's abduction by the Beast. But the Beast is not to be put off so easily and appears in a ghostly apparition as the Reverend Cain, a religious zealot responsible for the deaths of his many followers. I really can't tell you why. Oh my gosh, I just have like a huge, now it's not so bad, but when I was younger, my mom, I remember, it was because I was watching Nightmare on Elm Street and I didn't know that there were like more of them. And my mom told me and I was like, what the fuck? Like, why have I not seen these then? You know, like why aren't we watching them? And she told me then that sequels aren't ever very good. And I must have been like 7, 8, 9 years old, and that stuck with me for so long. So I've not seen very many franchise sequels. I mean, I'm remedying that. I, at this point, have seen some. I've watched all of Halloween, I've watched all of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I'm getting through Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, so I'm getting there, but like, there's no reason for me to have not watched these, you know? So yeah, Poltergeist 2, that's up on the docket. Next is Humanoids from the Deep, which came out in 1980. This is directed by Barbara Peters. After a new cannery introduces scientifically augmented salmon to a seaside town in the Pacific Northwest, a species of mysterious mutated sea creatures begins killing the men and assaulting the women. I don't know if I can say that word, but you get the hint. I've heard that this one is wild. Next up is Inferno, which came out in 1980, and this is directed by Dario Argento. A young man returns from Rome to his sister's satanic New York apartment house. I've heard that this is somewhat like of a prequel to Suspiria, which I love, so I don't know for sure. It doesn't say that here on what I'm reading, but I don't know, like maybe it is, I don't know, you tell me. Next up is Swallow, which came out in 2019. This was directed by Carlo Mirabella Davis. Hunter, a newly pregnant housewife, finds herself increasingly compelled to consume dangerous objects. As her husband and his family tighten their control over her life, she must confront the dark secret behind her new obsession. Ugh, this one just sounds so great. Then we have The Cursed, which came out in 2021. This is directed by Sean Ellis. In the late 19th century, a brutal land baron slaughters a Roma clan, unleashing a curse on his family and village. In the days that follow, the townspeople are plagued by nightmares. The baron's son goes missing, and a boy is found murdered. The locals suspect a wild animal, but a visiting pathologist warns of a more sinister presence lurking in the woods. This is a werewolf movie. I've heard that this is very good. I have seen bits and pieces of this because Zach watched this without me, which is very fucking rude of him. So I could tell that they used some practical effects in some of it, which is just like, that is the best thing a fucking movie could do, especially a werewolf movie. So I'm really excited to see this. Next up is The Black Cat, which came out in 1981. This is directed by Lucio Fulci. When a young couple goes missing in a sleepy English village, Scotland Yard Inspector Gorley is brought in to assist on the case, but what starts off as a routine investigation turns into a murder inquiry when the couple are found dead in mysterious circumstances. Then I'm watching Species, which came out in 1995. This was directed by Roger Donaldson. In 1993, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence project receives a transmission detailing an alien DNA structure along with instructions on how to splice it with human DNA. The result is Syl, a sensual but deadly creature who can change from a beautiful woman to an armor-bladed killing machine in the blink of an eye. This sounds fucking ridiculous. I can't wait to watch this. Then we have Possession, which came out in 1981. I'm definitely stacking this with 80s films. This is directed by Andrzej Sulowski. A young woman left her family for an unspecified reason. The husband determines to find out the truth and starts following his wife. At first, he suspects that a man is involved, but gradually he finds out more and more strange behaviors and bizarre incidents that indicate something more than a possessed love affair. So excited to watch this one. This is Zombie 2, aka Zombie Flesh Eaters, which came out in 1979. This is another film by Lucio Fulci. On the Caribbean island of Matul, white doctor David Menard is trying to stem the tide of cannibal zombies that are returning from the dead. Arriving on the island are Anne and reporter Peter West, who are looking for Anne's missing father. The pair soon finds themselves under attack from the zombies. I hope they eat flesh. Next is Hatching, which came out in 2022. This is directed by Hannah Bergholm. 12-year-old Tinya is desperate to please her mother, a woman obsessed with presenting the image of a perfect family. One night, Tinya finds a strange egg. What hatches is beyond belief. Again, pronunciations, don't have a fucking clue. But that's Hatching. Then we have Nightbreed, which came out in 1990, and this was directed by the master Clive Barker himself. A troubled young man is drawn to a mythical place called Midian, where a variety of monsters are hiding from humanity. This is based on his book Cabal, which I have read, although I think I was too young to understand what the fuck was going on, so that's definitely one I'm going to have to reread. And yeah, I remember like the Nightbreed part of it, like the, you know, monsters who are trying to get this guy. But yeah, so I'm excited to watch the film though. I've heard it's good, and fucking yeah. Then we have Prince of Darkness, which came out in 1987. This was directed by one of my favorite directors, John Carpenter. A research team finds a mysterious cylinder in a deserted church. If opened, it could mean the end of the world. Don't we love that? It has Donald Pleasance in it. Then I'm watching An American Werewolf in London. This came out in 1981 and is directed by John Landis. Two American tourists in England are attacked by a werewolf that none of the locals will admit exists. Then on to Cyst, which came out in 2020. This is directed by Tyler Russell. In the 1960s, a nurse's last day on her job is ruined when a doctor inadvertently creates a cyst monster that terrorizes the office. How could you say no to that? Look at that cover. It looks so grody. I love it. I can't wait. Then another 1980 film. This is Motel Hell, which was directed by Kevin Connor. Meat is meat and man's gotta eat. That was always Granny's philosophy, and that's the way folks still think here over at Motel Hello, where Farmer Vincent mixes up his special blend of smoked meats. Everybody in the county just loves Farmer Vincent's sausages and hams. There's nothing quite like them. But pray tell, what's that we've heard about strangers just disappearing after passing by Vincent's motel? And what are those odd things planted in Vincent's secret garden that he tends to only at nights? Oh my gosh, this looks so ridiculous. I love it. Then another sequel. I watched Demons last year, which was directed by Lamberto Bava. So the sequel, Demons 2, came out in 1986. Demons was great. It was like this goopy, like zombie-like demon thing that's going on, and these people are trapped in like this theater. And now in this one it says a group of tenants and visitors are trapped in a 10-story high-rise apartment building infested with demons who proceed to hunt the dwindling humans down. So I'm expecting much of the same. More goopy, more biting. I remember Demons had like a really great like hair metal soundtrack, so I'm hoping maybe, you know, that carries on into Demons 2, but we'll have to see. Either way, I'm really looking forward to this. Then I'm watching Sometimes They Come Back, which came out in 1991 and was directed by Tom McLaughlin. Based on a short story by Stephen King, a man and his family return to his hometown, but he is then harassed by teenagers who died when he was a kid. I've read this story. I think this is in Night Shift. Am I right? I don't know. It doesn't matter, but I'm pretty sure it's in Night Shift. It's a good little story. Then I'm watching Night of the Comet, which came out in 1984 and was directed by Tom Eberhard. Two girls from the valley wake up to find that a passing comet has eradicated their world and left behind mysterious red dust and a pack of cannibal mutants. With the help of a friendly truck driver, the girls save the Earth from a villainous think tank, karate chop their way through flesh-eating zombies, and of course, find some time to go to the mall, which is the best part. Then I'm watching The Gate, which came out in 1987. This was directed by Tibor Takux. Three young children accidentally release a horde of nasty, pint-sized demons from a hole in a suburban backyard. What follows is a classic battle between good and evil as three kids struggle to overcome a nightmarish hell that is literally taking over the earth. Alright, then last but not least is Night of the Creeps, which came out in 1986. This was directed by Fred Decker. In 1959, an alien experiment crashes to Earth and infects a fraternity member. They freeze the body, but in the modern day, two geeks pledging a fraternity accidentally thaw the corpse, which proceeds to infect the campus with parasites that transform their hosts into killer zombies. I cannot wait for this. Gosh, this is just like one of my favorite things, like infection, aliens. I don't know what else. Those two things, I love it. I can't wait. 80s movies, practical effects, you know? Yeah, I'm just really, really looking forward to this. So those are the movies I have planned out for October. Typically I would have this video out a little bit earlier in the month, but I went camping last weekend at the very beginning of the month, and then like I had just like shit to do after that. But I've got it out now, so let me know if you've watched any of these, what you think. Let me know if you have any recommendations. Let me know if there's anything coming out this month that you're really excited to see, whether it's like a streaming service or in the theater or like straight to DVD. I don't fucking care, I'll watch it, you know what I mean? I hope October is treating you extra spookily. I will talk to you guys later. Bye!